effects of white supremacy. What a timely message that is. The harmful effects of white supremacy. So my brother, I'm pretty sure he's going to start off with breaking down what is white supremacy. Because some of us may not be aware what white supremacy is. And then once he tells us what white supremacy is, we have to know what are the effects. You know, what does it do to us? What it makes us look like? What it makes us behave like? What it makes us talk like? How do we relate to each other as man and woman, and as sister and brother? You know, in terms of our ambition, in terms of our determination. You know, do it shatter those things? Is it a type of society where we can prevail, where we can progress as a people? Or is it a type of society that's going to make us demoralized and make us depend on another people? So we have to know this. And then we have to know, how do we combat that type of society? How can you combat white supremacy? White supremacy is a system. It's a systematic way of keeping us oppressed. Therefore, the only way we can fight that is with a systematic way of progression. And that's where PLM comes in. You know, PLM, we are creating a system. We are creating a way that we can get ourselves out of this oppression. And it's a matter of whatever your system is, stand true to that system and believing in it. Because it's hard. It's going to be hard to fight oppression because we're so convinced and we're so manipulated into believing in them and depending on them. So we have to have that persistency and that determination to get out of the system if we want to avoid the harmful effects of it. So the speaker that I'm going to bring up, this brother, met this brother back in what, 2009, 2008? He came to PLM's African Awareness and Critical Thinking Study class. He came eager to learn, like eager. He wanted to catch up with everybody in the class. I'm talking about people been studying for years. This brother like, I want to know what they know and I want to know it now. So he was reading like 2 books while we reading 1. He was doubled up on books. And he started learning the information. He was able to spit the information back out at us. He was able to articulate himself in such a way that once upon a time he wasn't able to do. His vocabulary increased drastically. Not to say he only came with about 10 words, but it increased. You know, this brother is very knowledgeable. This brother is very outgoing. This brother is courageous. Why do I say he's courageous? To be in this movement and to fight against such a vicious system, you have to have courage. And to fight consistently, you have to have courage. And I can think about a story, many stories, but one in particular. This brother, he was with somebody that he admired, somebody that he loved, somebody he looked up to. And when gunshots came out, or what they thought was gunshots, we still not sure of that. You know?
Jury's still out.
But when the gunshot started, this brother protected the person that he loved and admired. He wasn't thinking about himself. He was thinking about that person that he was with. And if that's not courage, I don't know what is. So this brother, he's very courageous. He's a writer, he's a lecturer, he's a facilitator at UIP. That's our youth organization. Brilliant man. He's also a facilitator at African Awareness and Critical Thinking Study class. So remind you, he was a student that came in very eager to learn, and now he's teaching. And still learning, because that don't mean he's arrived. He's still learning, but yeah, he's taking the information that he already acquired and sharing it with others. This is somebody that makes me laugh. His laughter is very therapeutic. It comes at the right time, most of the time. It comes at the right time. The brother is very humorous, and we need that balance. And that's one of the things that I love about this man. You know, he's very gentle and very loving. He's very caring. And very in tune with spirit. Because the brother call you at the right time. I don't know who experienced this from the brother yet, but if you feeling down, you know, your spirit, say I shade you feeling where I'm coming from. Wow, he reached a lot of people. You know, but if your spirit is in a certain place, he'll pull you to the side. Come here, what's going on with you? Or he'll call you. I remember one time, my sister just passed, and he called at the right time, I'm telling you. You know, so I appreciate this brother, and I love this brother and all the work that he's doing in the community. Please stand to your feet if you can and help me welcome my brother, Anani Fatiu.
traditionally don't do this, but elders, may I have permission to speak? Thank you. Thank you. Reason being because I look in this room and I see a lot of people that have made a great impact on my life, but none more greater, more sincere than my elders. I'd like to thank everybody that's came out to support me, my family, most of all, my friends who have stayed in contact with me and dealt with me, because in 2008, as I was going through my transition, my change, I ruffled a lot of feathers. Okay. I ruffled a lot of feathers, family and friends. So, you know, anybody know I used to work for Southwest Airlines. Out there, I loved the job. It was an excellent job. And when I first started studying and learning about who I was, a 737 was coming in, full engines blowing. I'm sitting on this thing they call a pushback, reading, zoned out. Not earphone, no earphones in my ear, no nothing. The pilot had to flash the lights in my face to get me to be aware of anybody in here seen a 737? Massive, right? It's an airplane. It's a very large airplane, Boeing 737. It's standing, engines blazing, roaring, and I wanted to learn about my history and my culture because I was one of those ones whom was affected by white supremacy. So we're going to get into it. As you see the title, The Harmful Effects of White Supremacy. Now, as my sister said in the beginning, we have to have a working definition. And this working definition, I pulled straight from my Baba, who did his lecture not too long ago on the urgency and message to the African people. And a working definition that he had came up with that I absolutely agree with, and I think that whenever you are a student and there's a teacher, the best thing is to follow in those massive footsteps until you can feel them and then chart your own. The working definition is a psychosocial, maladaptive behavior, orientation, and belief system that postulates the superiority and survival of white people over all other people and at the expense of all other people to sustain white power. Absorb that, because that's facts. That's not made up. There's no gray area. We are in a system of oppression and domination. What you may tell me, you may come to me and you may say, I'm feeling depressed. You may tell me my emotions are all over the place. But I want you all to understand that oppression is the cloud, and everything that drops from it is from oppression. So we can't get caught up in a lot of the things that put us in that state where they try to classify what's going on with you, and they attempt to what? Medicate you. Not paying attention to the true cloud where the storm that pours down on you, black people. And what you do is you say, I'm this, I'm that. I'm telling you to look at oppression. I want to give you another analogy because that's how my brain works, and many analogies. Oppression works like this. If I take any one of you all that's smaller than me and I hold you down in an uncomfortable way and it hurts and you fight and you move but you can't get up, something sets in, muscle memory. And the body starts to be all right contorted. It's not happy, but it's all right contorted. Because I'm weighing down on you so hard. And you want to come up from what's being weighed down on you, but you cannot. And you lock in this way. Who in here catch Charlie horses? Most painful feeling, ain't it? You doing everything in you. You trying to twitch, moonwalk it off if you can. But when your leg gets locked like that, and you can't find relief, the leg stays stiff. That's oppression. And the only way to deal with that oppression, and if anybody has ever been in any injuries, they go through what? Therapy. And in that therapy, you have to recondition and give your muscles a new memory or restore the old one. So when we're talking about oppression, we can't be uncomfortable because we're around other ethnicities. We can't do that. It is what it is, because you know what white people understand? White privilege. They don't question it. They clear on it. And they benefit from it in a major way. And they won't compromise it on your behalf. So you have to look at the flip side of the coin. You have to say to yourself, well, if he's white privilege, then that must mean black suppression. We understand that white supremacy, to me and from my studies, as I studied and I looked into it, I said, man, this is manifest destiny evolved. Because they thought that they could just go across the world of other ethnicities because they already knew about African people. And when you study, Europeans already know about African people. Trust and believe that very well.
Bluetooth disconnected.
But when they went around,
Having Bluetooth connected.
that's not a part of the lecture. It's white supremacy trying to take y'all away from me. But as I was saying, you know, they charted the world, and what they perceived to be undeveloped cultures, they took advantage of them with their carnage and ravaged nature. And then they used us to labor and build such a system. And come on now, if I built your house and made it all fancy, and then, you know, you living in it well, and then I say, man, since I built it, I want it. I think the person's going to be pretty reluctant to give it up because you built it. So the only way to combat it is with a system. But how does it affect us? There's a symbiotic relationship with white supremacy and African people. They work to, you know what? Who's familiar with that image? What's that image, bro? This Marvel character, Venom, is a symbiote. And the only way it can survive and live is if it attaches itself to a host. Fill them with they think is power, but depleting and taking away from them. This is what happens to African people. See, white supremacy is cloaked over us. We're all affected by it. There's no one in this room that will dare come to me and say, not me, I'm all the way black. Just by the way you said all the way black, let me know you affected. Because you didn't even speak it in a language that you should speak it in. So there's a relationship that happens with white supremacy and black people. We can't ignore that. It is real, very real. Don't notice it when you're watching football. And you notice that only 3 black quarterbacks, well, you know, 2 are successful Super Bowl winners out of 50. Out of 50. Don't notice it in basketball. Don't notice it only in things that necessarily pertain. It's in everything. It's in everything. It's in your job. It's in your relationship. It's in your finances. It's in your politics. It's in every nook and cranny of your life. And when I say these things, you know what you say? Or, not you all, because you all are my friends. But others may say, oh man, you hate white people. Are you serious? Well, to be honest with you, I do. Because I look at it historically on what has been done to my people. So I have to put it in context. If somebody beats your sister, violate her, but they have a child, when you see that child, you say, man, you don't like my daddy? I don't like your daddy. Plain and simple. But you love the child. See, I love us as a people, but I am fully aware of who victimized and violated my people. And I refuse to let that go. And you can say you making excuses, all that, you know, because you got people that's with the symbiotic relationship. You know, chocolate white people. That's what I call them. They'll come to you and they're ready to challenge you and contest you on behalf of somebody that don't even give a damn if you was arguing for them or not. Preachers upset with each other. Donald Trump sitting back chilling. Preachers upset with each other, contesting. You a sellout. You not real. And he like, on to the next campaign. Oh no, think about the symbiotic relationship. We are so sad, so sick, and so ill that we think we need their approval for everything. How does this look, Bob? You like my grass? It's a nice house. We need their approval. We need them to sanction us in all that we do, and all it does is cripple us. I had a deep conversation with my mother not too long ago. I won't get into the personal aspects of it, but I spoke to her about a void. And when there's a void in your life, you fill it with something that more than likely, in most cases, only sometimes, is not good for you. See, we missing our culture. We missing our Africanity. We missing our natural selves. We can't dance like them. We don't play basketball like them. We don't fight like them. So we know something's uniquely going on here. But we can't quite identify it because they've locked it away. So what you do, you put something there. But then it can just go at the drop of a hat. And then you back to feeling what? That empty void again. And you just still searching and wandering and searching and wandering. And a lot of us don't find who we are at the right time when we needed it. Oh, man, I needed this. But you found it when you were supposed to get it because your ancestors designed it that way. Who has ever had a phone, computer, and it always seemed like it keep resetting itself? And you're like, golly, what is wrong? Why does this keep restarting? It keeps restarting because it's trying to correct itself. There's something going on there. That's what happens to us at every stage of our lives. And what we do is we don't allow the restart process to focus and do what it's supposed to do. We go buy a new phone. We go buy a new laptop. Every one of you all can think of a memory where something about your Africanity presented itself and your brain was getting ready to trip and restart and something pushed it back. Something knocked you off course. We have to sever the symbiotic relationship. See, you said a Marvel character. So originally, Spider-Man was possessed by Venom. And Spider-Man had to shake Venom off. Like, nah, man, I am powerful. I am that greatness. Who in here ever seen Last Dragon? Yeah, right? Come on, y'all. Stop. Raise your hands. You're being recorded. All right? So when he was looking for the master and looking for what he needed, that void, it was always in him. Now, I'm not saying go dunk your head in some water 5 times until you realize, but I'm just saying we got to sever the symbiotic relationship because it's killing us. And we got to acknowledge that and stand on that with strength, tenacity, and courage. The Bible always put on Facebook, he said you got to have audacity on top of audacity. Even when they come to you and you almost feel slightly compromised. And you're like, no, you better stand up because your ancestors died for you to be present in this room right now. Do not ignore that. It's a betrayal. And you wonder why your life is in shambles because you betrayed your mission. Marumba Ani teaches us, Dr. Marumba Ani, Mama Marumba Ani teaches us, you black folks and light-skinned folks, because, you know, we got this issue. I don't know why. But everybody, all these melanated people, you chose to come here as an African through a black woman, through a black man. You chose that in the ancestral realm. You said, I see what's going on down there. I'm ready to get in the thick of it. I'm ready to get in the fight. So don't betray what you chose before you even understood you chose it. So I want to hit about 4 major attacks on white supremacy from my vantage point. How I see it. It's my lecture. It affects the individual. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Because I know when the question and answer period come around, I'm going to probably already answered it. And then you're going to come back to me and say, brother, but does it affect me? Yes. It affects the individual. It affects relationships, personal and business. And we don't want to talk about that, but we're going to get into it tonight. Because business is important, and white supremacy has affected it. personal, it has affected it. It affects our political, social, and economic decisions. No question about it. We fight over some of the craziest stuff, and we're going to get into it tonight. And of course, the bombshell, it affects spirituality. Unfortunately, I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but it's the truth when you see it. So I want to get into the individual. Let's go straight into the individual. The first thing that is affected in the individual is their esteem. See, when I was growing up, I'm a young guy, but when I was growing up, they spoke about how is your self-esteem? How do you feel about yourself? See, these are the type of things that happen when you don't feel good about yourself. It also affects your interaction with reality. How do you interface with everything? It affects it. And it distorts decision-making process. It distorts it. Because what's your frame of reference is a white man. That's your frame of reference. So when you go to the doctors and they say, you 5 such and such, you should be in this weight projectile. Who are they comparing you to? How do you read? How do you articulate yourself? How do you do arithmetic? How do you do science? Who are they comparing you to? But you don't question that because it's been here before I got here and this is how things are. But that's not necessarily true at all. At all. There was things before that. And we got to go to the thing before that. But look what it does to us. Look what it does to our esteem. Verbal cartel. Vaz, thank you. Go ahead. I mean, somebody know they reggae and Jamaican music. I don't. All I know is he compromised himself. Because over there, our brothers and sisters are bleaching their skin. Tattooing their lips. Pink. They are destroying themselves. Well, come on. You knew this was coming. I mean, really, though. Look at that beautiful woman. That's little Kim. I don't know what's on the other side of her. But I know the one that I know. You understand? It affects your esteem, your interaction with reality, and it distorts your decision-making process. Yeah. Home run hitting Sammy. No, really. Not made up, really. No Vinilago in this one. Trust me, none of these cases have that situation. No, that's not Photoshop. That's real. And he's smiling, happy about it. We don't do this. If you chose to be an African in the ancestral realm, then you have to ask yourself, what happened differently when you came into the physical reality? What happened? See, things are supposed to be in play to remind you. Because there's like who's ever had a computer and you thought you wiped your computer clean and then you go into a file and you're like, oh, I thought I got rid of that. Because it's still there. That's the first thing the police do. You think you clean your computer, they take the what? Hard drive out. Because what you think you deleted is still there. But you need things to remind you of it. So you need the proper software to go into the proper places to open up the proper file to know what you put somewhere. So what has happened here is that they've lost their esteem, but they got money, so they can do what they want to do. But how many of rich, so-called rich, and how many so-called poor do this to themselves? Girls are, no disrespect, ladies, don't come at them, I'm just being real. You putting glue in your hair to give you extra hair. And then it pulls the hair out when you get rid of the used hair, and then you have no edges. Your forehead has been extended without the body talking about it. There was no conversation with the body. You did it. I'm just being real. How many men take the wrong supplements, steroids, Because they say you got to be fit, cut, and buff. Who are you comparing it to? All them years we've been watching wrestling, man, it indoctrinated us. Because we thought that was the image of power. That was the image of Greeks standing there naked, built with the smallest phallus in the world. It's the truth. But that was what you believed to be powerful. That was put in front of your face. Whenever you go to buy undergarments, whenever you go to buy anything, look how they play with you. Just think about it. You go buy something that's large, but it's a fit man on there. Think about it. You go buy something that's large, extra large, 2X, 3X. Hopefully we ain't at the 4Xs. But it's always a fit individual there. What does that do to you? It doesn't compute well. So you try to get it, and then it wasn't even made for you, and they had to just add extra garment and fabric to fit you, but it really wasn't designed for you. It was designed for that model in that store that had an image like what? When we buy our clothes, they are white images, and their body and their physique, their athletic build that we try to put ourselves in. That's why we wearing skinny jeans. We crazy as I don't know what. When rock and roll boys had them skinny jeans with their knee out, we was like, look at that. All of a sudden, we got skinny jeans with our knees out. What happened? Now they wearing baggy clothes. It's the truth. They wear fat shoes when you was wearing fat shoes first with the Adidas and the thick laces. Now they take what? They take the Skechers and Vans and put it over there on their side and make you want to change who you are. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to put on some jeggings or leggings and it hug everything on me and I walk strong. I'm not going to do it because it contorts your body. It contorts your image. It does. She like what I'm saying. Who know who that is? Yeah, the only black character. The only black character that was on Boy Meets World, who had a white boyfriend, but hey, she was on the show. She was getting a check with a predominantly white cast. Look what she did to herself. It affects your esteem, how you feel about yourself, your interactions, or interfacing with reality. She thinks she look normal. Matter of fact, all of them do. And all of them think it's okay to come out the house. Now, the funny thing is, and let's play with it, they hated how they used to look, and they stayed indoors, mutilated themselves, and came outdoors. What's going on? Unless they think that they have fell into a place of acceptance. And this is how I should be. This is how I should look. And they look crazy as hell. You ain't got to do no Hollywood makeup monsters. Let them run around. You ain't got to do none of that stuff. But again, our esteem is affected. We're going to talk about how to get it back. But I got to put you in the state of how it affects us in a major, major way. It affects our relationships. We start to devalue each other. See that money going down the drain? We devalue each other. That's just no doubt about that. That's very serious. He doesn't have what the world says he should have. He loves everything about you. Your idiosyncrasies, your attitude, your funky breath. Okay. You've had an unfortunate life as a man, been through some changes, and this woman, she ain't never been a part of none of that. Career woman. And she take you in. And you walking around feeling some kind of way, unaccepted. You making $20,000 a year, and you feel incomplete as a man because she making $100,000. The question you should ask is, what does she see in me that I don't? We devalue the relationships. They hold no measure if you ain't bringing to the table what I'm bringing to the table. We don't even own the damn table. So granted, you bringing something, and I'm bringing something, but we don't even own what we say we are putting the things that we want on the table. We don't even own the table. All of us, this is my house. Actually, it's Long and Foster's house. And if you miss them payments, that house will be quickly taken from you. If you don't pay your water bill, that house will be taken from you. If you don't pay Constellation Energy, you will have no power for it. Really. So we so quick, right, to get in each other's, what the children say at work? Bushes. We so quick to go at each other. This my car. I'll tell you what the bushes is later. This my car. No, you still got a couple payments to make. And if it is your car, you guaranteed to have to pay insurance. It's no question. It's no option. It's a criminal act, a criminal process if you don't have insurance. And if you have an old car, sometimes it's hard to get insurance. So we go to get the historic tags. I ain't never forgot it. I remember, bro, we talked about that a long time ago. Go get them historic tags and get some liability and hit people. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We lack trust. The foundation of trust is already destroyed because the harmful effects of white supremacy. I didn't trust my mama. I didn't trust my daddy. And I carry that into a relationship. I've never dealt with that. I've never acknowledged it. I've never put that in a place, in a context upon what it should be. And so I'm already coming in line. Even when I tell you, I'm telling you the truth. And it's not my intent to lie to you. It's not my intent to violate your trust. But I've never seen what it looked like. Because society, this is what we live in, this oppression that we live in, has told us how to be some swindlers and criminals. If we ain't learned nothing, we learn how to do something like that. You know? Change your tax status sometimes. Claim babies. But you don't even know. And then you make deals. I'm not calling nobody out in here. Everybody in here is all right. I'm speaking about the things that we do. We learn how to break law. So how are we going to have trust in the relationship? Now, I'm not saying that you should not attack this system. You should. But not at the compromise of your own loved ones. We become extremely competitive in relationship and business because capitalism breeds competitiveness. So if you cut hair and I cut hair, my fades are better. I'll give you a Beijing, brother. I'll darken it up a little bit for the light ones. And we doing the same thing, but we fighting each other for it. See, we want to talk about how many liquor stores there is. My question is, how many salons are there? How many barbershops are there? How many auto mechanic shops that need that lift over? They need each other. They can't, hey, man, look, I ain't got the diagnostic machine, but I can tell you what's wrong with it. How? You only got the machine to read the chip. Boy, let me hear it. All right, that's what's wrong with it. And the dude over there, he got the machine to hear it, but he don't have the ear. So it's something that happens to us. We are extremely competitive, and we will go at each other even in a relationship. Look what I did. Look what I brought. I went and got the groceries. But I cooked it. But it don't matter. I got to get the money and get in the line and get the groceries. But I got to stay in here and chop it up. But you eating too, ain't you? Yeah, that's true. But why are we fighting each other? That's the harmful effects of white supremacy. Somebody's trying to get the one-ups on the other person. You quick to remind them they ain't pay that bill. You didn't talk to them to see why they didn't pay that bill or what was going on because they so scared to let you down. So they hide a bill from you. And the lights get boom, and you going, I don't know what's wrong with it. You hitting the box. Sure enough, I don't know what's going on with this. And then that pink, because you see that pink little line on there? That pink line lets you know. And then he looking at you like, wasn't this your responsibility? Because we competitive, we don't talk. So I feel like I didn't bring my side to the table, so I feel compromised. And so I hide it, which goes what? To the lack of trust. What goes what? To you just devalue the relationship. This is my favorite one right here. You see that square? Trying to get in that circle? Sometimes we go into relationships that just don't work. And we slamming and banging and trying to make it work. The circle ain't doing nothing. The square ain't doing nothing. These are the harmful effects of white supremacy. Because we think, I like thick women, I like muscular men, that's my type. Nothing inside here. Nothing inside here. Sometimes it's that skinny girl and that chunky brother that got what you need and fits you. But the harmful effects of white supremacy tell you, no, you have to have a circle. Even though you're clearly a square. You feel me? Dudes are squares in the truest sense of the word. Trying to be something that they not to try to get something. Listen to a couple rap songs and, okay, that's what it is. That's how you cook the drugs? Okay. You got to get out there on the block? Okay. You got to demand your money. All right. Squares. And they get out there and soon, pew, pew, ah! Then they show who they really are. Now, with all due respect, I think that this could work though. But what would happen in order for this square to get in that circle? Look at y'all. But you know what's funny? The harmful effects of white supremacy is we become selfish and competitive. So the circle don't want to make room. And the square don't want to shave off nothing. So it's never going to work until you bring the idea to make it work. So I'm working into my solution. But I just wanted to speak about that. Because how that affects relationships is extremely important. Remember, we devalue each other. We lack trust. We become competitive. And we force things that don't work. But remember what I said before? The individual, there's two individuals coming together. And as they come together, remember how it affected them separately. They had no esteem or low self-esteem. Their interactions with reality was all messed up. And they had a distorted decision-making process. So if that is the individual, and they embark on a relationship, we pretty much know where this thing is going to go. Now let's talk about how it happens in business. See, we devalue each other. You don't want to go to the store that don't have a lot of cash registers at the moment. Or don't have the brand name that you're accustomed to, that you've been told to be accustomed to. See, you're going to wear Nike, but the up-and-coming shoe dude that's trying to break through, you ignore him. But I'm going to tell you, Nike was a Payless shoe. That's a fact. It was not always this endorsing shoe. They were getting walked on by Adidas. That's facts. And Puma, I heard you. I got some Sauconys on tonight and trying to, usually I try to, support. Still ain't supporting my people, but I mean, I'm just saying. You don't want to wear this up-and-coming clothing line. You don't want to do it because they told you that true religion is real. Who religion is it? And what's true about it? Because if it make me pay $300 and take food out my baby's mouths, that ain't no damn religion. And ain't nothing truthful about it. Because it got to tell you that you in if you wear this. Who are we chasing? And why can't you support that young and up-and-coming sister who's stitching clothes together, who's making it hot? Because Kanye West got slave clothes. Seriously. Slave clothes. And he gets a runway show. But the up-and-coming young brother with the beautiful ideas, and he out there saying, man, can you buy my shirt? He might have the iron on at that moment. He hasn't upgraded to the stitching or the screen printing. He just, it's support me. And you're like, nah, that ain't real. Let me see the tag. What's going on with us? We lack trust in business. Somebody leaves some paperwork on the desk and you looking, trying to see how things get paid out. How do they do supplies? That's supposed to be your man. He gave you a job. You got 5 murders on your rap sheet. He gave you a job. You didn't get convicted for them all, obviously. You got 5 murders, you ain't working nowhere. Unless you're a bad man, you know what I'm saying? You just say, don't touch me. Police say, okay, all right. You killed 5 people, we ain't gonna bother. But I'm just saying, that's what you do. You lack trust. So you got the idea and he got the money, and you come together, and before you know it, y'all at odds with each other. Because y'all had low self-esteem. Because your interactions with reality was off. And you had a distorted decision-making process. And you become competitive within the same business. Waiting to undercut the other person. Not using each other to springboard and jump off. No. Yeah, me and you was working together. Say, man, I support you, man. Go get your shirts, man. No problem. As soon as you get out, hey, man, you know he get his shirts from the China, man. Oh, man, he ain't real. Nope. But you should come get my shirts that I get from the Indian man. But I ain't going to tell you that. So we already fighting each other. And then we go into business with individuals who we quite don't fit with. But we trying to get up. We trying to get out of these situations. So you make a bad decision and you get tied in with a person that you know nothing about. And your life and your family's life is all in jeopardy and threatened. This is real. This is how white supremacy affects us. I look at it because this is me. I'm not saying anything to any one of you all that I don't look in the mirror and say to myself. Because I wrestle and have wrestled with these things. But what I will talk about later is what helped me. Help. I didn't say I still don't struggle, because we all do. All right. Politically, socially, and economically, we are political dunces. We don't know nothing about politics. All you know is your grandmother was a Democrat, you're a Democrat. You don't know nothing about the process at all. There's a mayoral election approaching, and all we doing is jumping on names, and we ain't looking through their rap sheet. Got a damn commercial of a man saying, I'm a businessman. Vote for me. I'll change, boss. That's the one you don't vote for. You seen what happened in Flint when they made a business decision? They destroyed and killed our people. Period. So he didn't even shadow under no politics. But that's the kind of situation we in, that you don't have to know nothing political. You just got to speak well, shake hands, smile, wear the right clothes, be in the right social circles, and that's it. And we don't even challenge these fools. You calling the district person for something that's going on that you should be talking to the mayor about. You don't go to no city council meeting because you just know what they're going to do and you kind of gave up on it. You've never been to Annapolis and seen how they do bills and how they say, we're going to pass this bill, but then when they're in there for an hour, you're like, damn, why are they in there for an hour for one bill? Oh, it's not one bill. It's many bills. The one that's on the front is the thing that's going to carry everything else over. But you don't know that. You don't understand that. Even when we go to vote, tell me if I'm wrong, I'll drop this mic and walk out of here. I'm going to get in trouble for it, but I'll do it. If you have ever went to go vote and they said that they will move money to Parks and Rec, museums, and it happened. And I said, and it happened. Oh, whoo, boy, because I'll get ready to walk out of here. Y'all have got me. I had to explain that. See, we don't understand anything. We become socially awkward. Look at him. That's a wrestler, right? You know what I'm saying? But I like that image because we socially awkward. We do a lot of things to be distinctive. and we make ourselves look crazy. We paint your nails black and you're a black man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like, who takes the time to do that? Yeah, man. What's wrong with you? And do you go in the store like, can I get the black nail polish? What you steal your mother's? What are you doing? Because we socially awkward. We press our hair. We dye our hair. We put contacts in our eyes to try to look unique. We socially awkward. And then when you try to have a conversation with them, you don't know where it's going. So, man, you like the football game? See, what's going on is the system. I'm talking about football, man. I don't know what you're talking. I mean, has that ever happened? Have you ever talked to somebody that's socially awkward, but you're trying to befriend them? You attempt to because you're like, man, they look like a good person, man. Yeah. And then when you go to talk to them, you're like, oh, my God. That's why. And then they think that that image is okay, but they dying inside. They dying because every black person wants to be near somebody. That's facts. That ain't made up. That's why our children go join these gangs, because they really want family. So when you're socially awkward, you do awkward things. You make awkward decisions. You leave out the house awkwardly. Everything you do is awkward. You eating cereal with chopsticks. It's funny, but people do stuff like that to be different. And it looks silly. And we know nothing about economics. You see what he say? Skip economic class. The opportunity cost is too damn high. And we reduce economics, right, to just money. That's a meme. That's not really what he said. But I think it's funny because that's the truth. We know nothing about finances, resources. We know nothing about it. Anybody in here go down there and when they go to get food stamps, they give you this thing and we never use it until it's a crisis. It's a book, a purple book with informations of resources and things you can use, but you don't even look at it. You're just trying to swipe that card. And can they expedite it? Because we hungry. But you don't look into the resources until your water bill and you looking and scrambling. You don't use the resource when you're gas and electric. You don't do none of that. Because we are economically off course. We think if I amass this amount of money, then I'm good. How many millionaires or lottery winners went broke the very next year? Life distorted. Now, I missed the image. I was going to have that Powerball up. I was going to have that power. Forgot all about that. Because we all played it. Thank you. Because everybody's shaking their head no and got a trunk full of dead ones. Upset like they ain't never been upset before. Because even I was holding out like, man, I ain't going to play. That's stupid. They said 1 billion. 1 billion. But you know what's funny? How economically off course we are? Have we ever asked ourselves, how did that happen? And when you go to get it, you got to get a payout. Because nobody wants to be alive for 20 years waiting for 1 point something billion. Because it ain't going to happen. Somebody going to kill you. Or you're going to kill yourself trying to get to that money. So we all take the payout. So where does the remainder of that money go? Oh, I know where it goes. It goes to the school system, of course. How many schools they closing down? How many high schools are full schools? If you look through Baltimore City, there's probably, and I'm just guessing, but 5 to 6 traditional, still intact high schools. Everyone else, broken up. Walbrook, broken up. Northern, broken up. Lake Clifton, broken up. And they all in the same building. But they different schools in the same building. Occupying the same space. What's going on? Oh, that's where the casino money is going. You sure? Because in order to build it, economics, I'm going to teach you economics. In order to build it, they have to pay to build it and establish it. So they have to be in operation for X amount of years to recoup what they put in the bill before they send money anywhere. That's facts. But we economically stupid, so we vote for slots, not knowing what kind of depression and issues come into the community when you bring it. Listen, I'm not lying to nobody in here. I said, man, if we get the slots on Park Heights and Belvedere, no, that's where they're going to put it. That's where they put it at. I said, man, Gambling Anonymous is going to be off the chain. And then I seen a commercial for it, and it shook me. All the ills that we suffer from, that has been a commercial I've never seen in Baltimore City. That's my word. Because there was no need for it. All of a sudden, Gambling Anonymous. Are you taking your family's money and jeopardizing it? Come talk to us. And you do that every day, though. Because scratch-offs wasn't enough. Lottery, 4-digit, 3-digit, wasn't enough. I mean, listen, y'all, they got a Powerball that crosses many states. So what do you think happening to us? We crazy. I seen something where somebody supposedly hit, and if you like that page, they'll send you $10,000 and everybody starts sharing it. Did any one of y'all get that $10,000? Good, because I was great, Jackie. I was great, Robbie. I was. But I'm saying we don't understand economics at all. When we go into the markets, we don't hold them accountable. They just put the prices and the product in the stores, and you don't even realize your leverage to determine what goes in that store. You just go along with it. And you take $20 in there and walk out with 2 things. That's the truth. That really happens. You're like, we hungry. All right, you go in there, you're like, let me get some lunch meat, chips. You ain't got no bread because you couldn't afford it. So then you put the chips back, you get the bread. And you got a little bit of change left over, you say, let me get some mayo. Oh, mayo is high. You either get the store brand, where they make money, or you find yourself in a situation where you taking. Because I know, y'all ain't going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I always think about taking when I get in that self-checkout line. Because I'm thinking, who watching me? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, I can do it. That's just me. Let's talk about spirituality for a second. No attacks, but let's talk about it. No attacks, but let's talk about it. We're going to talk about all expressions and all denominations. Atheism. Real brief, right? All y'all that say that y'all atheists, y'all just on your way breaking away from the white man and you don't even know it. You mad at the image that they gave you. That's what you're really mad at, but you tell me there is no God. We're all a part of the universe. And you don't want to believe in anything because you're really mad at the European concept and you're breaking away from it. Read Urban Philosophy when he talks about that God piece. That's important. I thought this was a joke. You know, next year, the harmful effects of all foreign spiritual practices in Africa. Because that needs to be talked about as well. But I want to specifically speak to what Christianity does. This is what we thought I was going to talk about tonight. You thought I was going to talk about that. You thought I was going to say, there's a white image of Jesus and it affects us. I'm going to go a little deeper. We the only ones in the world think it's cool to adorn a crime scene. We the only ones that put it in diamonds, put it in gold, platinum, and silver. A crime scene, a horrific death. And you don't want them to play Call of Duty, but you got that on your neck. What you think it's doing to them? That's what sociopaths and psychopaths do. They replay the murder over and over again and get off on it. That's facts. I know. Let's dip it in chocolate. Let's dip it in chocolate. Who knew Blair Underwood did a Jesus movie before The Passion of Christ? Oh, yeah. See?
I like it.
Yeah. What? You know, he up there hanging up there bad. He look messed up. But again, that's what we do. We are doing a crime scene and we put locks on it. And the crown of thorns, that's rubies and diamonds. But let Let me show you how even when you do that, you ain't empowering your children. All you doing is reminding them of this. More crucified. Look at that image. He's crucified. It continues to keep happening. Crucified. Anguish, pain on his face. Crucified. Look how they got her. We ain't seen her after that. This is what our children see. So even if you dip it in chocolate, it ain't changed that they still keep dying. And things and images that look like them is not respected. But that white image, that crime scene that you keep holding on to, it don't happen but oh so often if they don't do it to themselves. But when you dip it in chocolate and you think you empowering them and saying, no, we're going to take it back, which is a step, I understand. But it ain't going to change nothing because they still being crucified. So let's talk about some remedies I think could work for the individual. An intense therapeutic process of study. Intense. Home and abroad. And a personal inventory check. What's going on inside you? Making sure that what needs to be there is there. Always fully stocked, and what should be discarded, get it off the shelves. Get it out your life. You got to have a knowledge of self. You got to study Africa, America. Man, you got to study the world. Don't limit yourself, because we are history, period. And when you find out we was over there in Asia, you be like, oh, man. And when you find out we was over there in Europe, you're like, oh, man, we everywhere. We are the mothers and fathers of the world, point blank, period. The children don't like it. And you know how it is if you got children. When they don't like things, they tend to tear stuff up. And these so-called deformed children, them Europeans specifically, are tearing the world up because we don't do this. Relationships, a suggestion, a remedy for relationships. A cultural Sankofa. We got to do what urban philosophy says. We got to take an historical journey. Then we got to have an historical recognition. I'm more off a little bit. I know he's shaking his head back there. Hold on. Give me a second. I want to be clear. Thank you. Historical recognition, historical retrieval, and historical utilization. That's the only way. When we look into our business and personal relationship, remember, because the body is better now, the individual, because they built themselves up, now we got to get into the relationship and how that's still got to be a continuity that goes over. Then we got to have a personal Sankofa. You've seen strong personal relationships in your lifetime and strong business relationships in your lifetime. You can't forget them. Despite all the issues that they were dealing with. You got to Sankofa yourself. That's the Sankofa image. Even though he's looking back over and retrieving, he's not stuck back there. So don't think when we say go back and learn who you are, that we're telling you to stay back there. We're telling you to go get what you need to get and go forward. And that's my grandmother. So I take a personal Sankofa because she raised 13 children. And she did what she needed to do. And yes, she's an ancestor now. But I got that frame of reference personally. So sometimes you got to take a personal Sankofa. I see my mother who's out here. Take everything in the refrigerator and make a meal out of it. And it was the best. The food was nasty when it was separate. Sorry, Mom, I can tell you this now. But it became the best when she combined it. So I see how to make it work. A suggested remedy for our political and social and economic issues. I believe this. Scientific Pan-Africanism. Page 118. Bear with me, Baba. 1, scientific Pan-Africanism addresses and remedies the social and political economic ills plaguing the Pan-African community. It aids in the progression of human society. 2 and 3, provide a systematic framework to Pan-African thought and practice. Because the only way to beat a system is with a system. Page 119. Scientific Pan-Africanism, unifying a systematic process consisting 2 fundamental components. 1, establishing and instituting coordinating efforts, and 2, cultivating a genuine working togetherness. Mobilizing is the systematic cultivation of an active sense of group preparedness and a state of readiness to execute a strategic operation. Last one. Got to get the book if you want it all. Scientific Pan-Africanism. I'm going to encapsulate this, so it's a lot to be read, but I'm going to encapsulate it. It's 1, an intimate identification with Africa. 2, a recognition of worldwide African community. 3, a genuine love for the unification, redemption, and empowerment of African people. 4, African-centered worldview. And 5, a nationalistic orientation. However, due to the development and evolution of the Pan-African thought and the confusion surrounding it, other things that then crept in, we deduce a 6th law, a true practitioner of African cultural norms. Naming your children, believing in the spiritual process of it, believing in the home process of it. And this is in this book. Spiritually, a suggested remedy, a journey back home. Kemet has a beautiful spiritual system. Yoruba has a beautiful spiritual system. Akan, Dogon, Vandun, Igbo. But you notice what I did? If you see that little attachment, they all the same. The same continuity is there. The dialect is different. But it's cyclical. It's all the same. So it don't get caught up in how I want to read or interpret spirituality, or how I want to get caught up in spirituality. It's all the same. All of them have that hierarchy that we must acknowledge and understand. That there's a supreme universal creator. Then there's aspects of creation. Then there's the ancestors. Then there's the elders. Then there's the mamas, the babas, the children. And how it completes itself is the yet unborn. That's in all of them. Uniquely expressed, uniquely explained, but it's there. What I'm looking like, one more time. Gotcha. These sources of reference, how I came to this way of thinking. Nellie Fuller, Francis Cress Wilson, Bobby E. Wright, the beautiful. Got to get your tickets tonight. Right. Got to get your tickets tonight for tomorrow, for Kamal Campbell. Right. And my Baba, Imhotep Assis Fatu. The United, Independent, Compensatory Code System and Concept of White Supremacy. You got to know what it is before you start talking about it. You better have a real understanding of it before you say, this is white supremacy, and don't even know how. More than likely, you're right, though. The ISIS papers. The psychopathic racial personalities. The last black man standing. Urban philosophy, thought and behavior system. So I want to do quickly a dedication to a giant. Listen to these wise words.
Dr. Francis Welsing, give us the benefit of your theory, please.
Well, my theory was, I wrote the paper in 1969. I wrote a paper called The Crest Theory of Color Confrontation and Racism. And the sole reason behind writing that paper was an attempt to understand the behavior of white people in relationship to all people of color, every place in the world, black, brown, red, and yellow people. And the paper was presented to the Americans at the National Medical Association, the section on psychiatry, in neurology, because back in 1969, the Black Caucus in the American Psychiatric Association, we had said that racism, and when we talk about racism, we're talking about the white supremacy behavior of white people, that racism was the #1 mental health problem in the nation, and it was the #1 cause of other mental health problems. And I wanted to understand what this thing of racism really is all about, because it's the thing that has caused woe and misery and suffering for the vast majority of the people on this planet that are classified as non-white. And in my attempt to understand why the necessity of white people to keep saying that white is superior and that the condition of non-white is inferior, and the more I thought about it, in conjunction with an idea that a friend of mine had, that racism was a worldwide behavioral system for the maintenance of white supremacy by a small minority of people, I put those ideas together with what we know about genetics, what we know about the condition of skin whiteness itself. The condition of skin whiteness is the genetic inability to produce skin pigment called melanin. This is a genetic recessive trait. It is a genetic deficiency state, not as defined by Francis Welsing, but defined by geneticists and dermatologists, that the inability to produce the skin pigment of melanin or melanin pigment is described as albinism. And I think that white people, even though most white people are not consciously understanding their problem in genetics, they are certainly aware that they are genetically dominated by people of color. That's why it was a statement, one drop of black blood makes you black, because people of color have the genetic capacity to annihilate white people. And so unless white people control the reproductivity of people of color, then we can postulate that perhaps one day there won't be any white people. And I think that the very survival of white people necessitates that they project genetic inferiority on people of color, because it is they who really are aware that they are genetic recessive and perhaps genetically inferior to people of color. And I am not saying this to call the condition of skin whiteness to say, well, no, white people are inferior. I'm not saying it for that purpose, but I think that it is of prime importance for the majority of people in the world to understand why it is that white people have to, the effective majority, large numbers of white people, have to move in a hostile and an aggressive way against people of color, and have to constantly focus on it's you who's genetically inferior, because they realize that there's something wrong with their genetic status. Now,
you can get the remaining clips of it on YouTube, but I felt like I would be in error to not let you hear Mama Frances Cress Welsing's words and work that she dedicated her life to. And so for me to get up here and speak, it was just to honor her. So I'm blessed. I appreciate you all. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hotep. Let's get to work in.
But that's all to PLM, you know, Pan-African Liberation Movement, and our study class, African Awareness and Critical Thinking, and our teacher and leader back there, Baba Imhotep Lati. We shape and groom each other, you know, so all of us is going through the process of re-Africanizing ourselves. And we all hold each other accountable, and we all remind each other what needs to be reminded, and we give each other information. The same way I learned some things from my brother tonight, you know, so we learn from each other, so we shape each other. One of the things that this brother had said was, don't limit yourself, because we are history. So he emphasized studying. We need to study Africa. He said we need to study America, and he said we need to study the world. So don't limit yourself. And I was just talking about study on Facebook just today. And I was saying we also need to study the people around us so we can build up our discernment. So we studying each other and we studying the oppressor, we'll be able to understand oppression better. And we'll be able to understand those who are sick and those who are striving to get rid of this illness. You know, so that will help us with our discernment, and we'll minimize or eliminate making so many mistakes, trusting the wrong people. And we'll be able to distinguish between our friend and our foe.
That's right.
Because we don't know who's the foe. You know, and we're calling the wrong ones our friends. And then those who are truly our friend and have our back, we think they are our enemy. So we don't know, we don't understand that. So if you do what the brother right here say, and studying everything and studying the world, you'll be able to understand that right there. I also posted something on Facebook, said, if love is not being served, I reposted it, then get up from the table. This brother said, bring your own stuff to the table, but we don't even own the table. That's not even our table. So we need to build our own table, because we're not loved by these people. You know, we're not loved by oppression. Oppression underdevelops us. We have to understand that. We're not at our best when we're being oppressed. So we have to have a system to fight this oppressive system. So one more thing I want to highlight, because my Baba M. Hotep, when he made the agenda, he kept a little bit of time, make sure I don't talk too much. But I want to highlight one more thing. You know, the brother talked about misdirected aggression. You know, we're being aggressive and angry with each other, with our sisters, the brothers with each other, and the women with their men, and the men with their ladies. The beef is not with each other.
Right.
We got to understand again that friend and that foe. The beef is outside that house. The beef is outside of that sisterhood.
Right.
The beef is outside of that brotherhood. So you will understand that if you study. So again, I want to highlight the study that my brother spoke about. And I'm so proud of him. You know, I know he got up here and said he a little nervous. But he did a really, really good job. He always do a really good job. I enjoy listening to the brother speak. And let me be clear. Before he called me tonight, tuck my ears off. I enjoy when he's up here with the mic in his hand, or when he's facilitating study class, because the brother got so much information in his head. He got a wealth of knowledge. A wealth of knowledge. So even if he called you, I'm being facetious, even if he called you with some information, just listen. He's a young brother, but he got a lot of information. I want to make some quick announcements. He mentioned Kamau Cambone tomorrow. Yes. Clap it up for the Bible. Excuse me, the Bible Kamau Cambone. And we're still selling tickets tonight. The tickets are $20 if you get it tonight. If you pay at the door, it's $25. I'm going to call my brother and comrade Anani back up for question and answering. I ask that you keep it short as much as you can. Don't get up and tell a whole story. This one time in band camp, you know. But whatever you have, you know, to say to the brother, say it and keep it short, and just keep in mind a lot of people got things to say.
I just want to let y'all know, I am on the social media, like everybody else, under Champion for Africa. If you want to book me for any speaking engagements, Champion for Africa, email me. I have 2 DVDs that I've already done. Research of African Youth in the 21st Century, Identifying the Ancestor Within. So, now you can ask questions. You got to brand yourself. Yes.
I have a question. It's about the spirituality part. You touched on, Jesus, Christianity and how it's used to oppress us. But I know I also saw some stuff like on the part about Islam, because a lot of, when I came into this, I know a lot of people say, well, Christianity is like a slave religion and like Islam was like our first religion or whatever. Until I found out, a lot of the Arabs was oppressing us too, hanging out people and crucifying and shooting them as well. So I want to know, like, as far as spirituality, like, is there information on, I guess, really getting down to who he's really praying to? Because it's like now, I don't even feel right praying no more because I don't know who to pray to, because I feel like a lot of the religions, were part of our oppression. So.
Okay, that's an excellent question. Clap it up for that, sister. Like I said in my lecture, that's the harmful effects of white supremacy. It has us looking for that void. But as I stated earlier, it's in you. Too many times people trying to dump something in you. But if you sit down quietly in a quiet space and you listen, you'll find what everything that you're searching for. And what you will hear is Africa. That's what you will hear. So it ain't about necessarily the Buddhist, the Hindu, the Islamic, the Christian. I wanted to show you that it doesn't change. The harmful effects of what it does to us is because we're not in ourselves. If I asked you to wear a dress that was not your dimensions, and it was very either too tight or too large, you would have to make a decision to discard it, right? And get what you need. So use that as your context. Don't worry about this style of dress or this style of dress. If it don't fit you, is the thing that you need to understand. If it fits you and it works for you, let it work for you. I'm just trying to show you the harmful effects of what it does to our psyche and our spirit. Thank you. Yes. What's your name, brother? Hey, man, I know you, man.
That's my big brother, Anani. And I'm extremely proud of it. I'm extremely proud of just the great job you've done, all the information that you presented, the great father that you are, the great liberator that you are working to be. I'm thankful for PLM. So I would say just keep going. Don't worry about any of the attacks. Just, stay connected and stay unified within the organization. For everybody who's in the organization and anyone who wants to get in the organization. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm really proud of you. I learn a lot every time I come out. I love you. And just PLM and Brock or Anani, just keep it going.
Quote that. That was from the deacon, y'all. Thank you. That was from the deacon. You know you did good when the deacon tell you you did good. Won't be back in the house for that. I understand. No, yes, Father. Yes. Hotel. Alright, everybody. And before he asks his question, everybody put your seatbelt on. Alright, we might get ready to go for a ride.
No, first of all, I just want to say congratulations again, brother, on those great lectures. Whenever I come out, I'm always learning something. But you speaking, brother, Hotel, Sister Ife. But it's something I've been thinking about. As you get older, you kind of reflect on your life and look at things you've been taught. As Sister was alluding to, growing up, all of us as Africans in this country, we were socialized upon Christianity. Many of us, some of the older ones anyway,
yes,
were socialized among Christianity.
Yes.
Then as we evolved, we were socialized under Islam.
Yes.
And then we continued to evolve, then we came more back into our own African culture.
Yes.
But one of the things that we was taught and socialized on is that about divine law. When I talk about divine law, we're talking about a natural principle that's irrefutable. Gravity would be considered divine law.
Yes, sir.
What goes up comes down.
Yes.
But it doesn't change. So in the socialization process, we was taught about you reap what you sow. So this is a question and pretty much a comment and a question. And I want to get your thoughts about this. So I've been thinking about, do you really reap what you sow? Is that a divine law? Well, we was taught, in the Bible, it states that in the Bible, that you reap what you sow. Do unto heaven, do unto you. Within Islam, we was taught the same principle. Want to what you want for yourself. What was told was the divine law. But see, now we go back and talk about the Creator. See, the Europeans, the white man gave us a God and said that God said it was divine law. But then we have a God that maybe we're not familiar with, that's more in tune with our nature. So the question is this right here. Do you reap what you sow? And if that's the divine laws we've been taught, I have a problem with that. The reason is because we've been oppressed for so long. So as a white man, as Sister alluded to, the Arab slave trade was the beginning of 700 years. The European slave trade, another over 14 to 1500 years, we've been oppressed by the white system. So at what point do the white man reap what he sows? So is that a divine law or is that a man-made law? If it's a man-made law, then we got to change that. If it's a divine law, then when God going to intervene?
Okay. You helped me in the end. Because then I was really like, I don't know. Alright. So I can't really play with the words or reap what you sow. But I will say this one word, justice. And justice is a double-edged sword. It can work for you, or it can work against you if you are the one that's violating. And you said, when would God intervene? That was what I needed to hear. Because I didn't know how to answer it. Now, take the term God away.
You are the divine. So when are we going to intervene? When are we going to realize that that's what needs to happen, that justice needs to happen no matter how it shows itself? If somebody break in your house to violate your wife and your child, are you going to ask, did I deserve this? Are you going to try to play some things out in your head? Or are you going to establish justice at that moment? Because the divine protector is you. So as long as African people are off their center, then you're right. We will stay in this situation until we step on our square and say, if they cross this line, it's on. So look at the divine in yourself, black man and black woman. You are the divine that you're searching for. If you ain't give me that part at the end, boy, I was like, I'm not even going to attempt to try. I'll be ready to defer. When you threw that out there, I said, okay, I thank you. That was the ancestors helped me with that alley-oop, man. Trust me. Yeah, it's been time. Long overdue.
And not just get into a real level, but I wanted to add to that because again, the majority of our people comes under socialization. They're waiting for someone to save us. They're waiting for a divine, a God, a omnipotent being that's been created, waiting to save us.
Mm-hmm.
Which God ain't coming. That God ain't coming. So you describe it,
Yeah, that's why I said, and that's why I asked everybody, I asked about the analogy of the last dragon. He kept looking for the master. So maybe I got to dunk your head, not you personally, but others, I got to keep dunking your head into some water until you realize it. And then you notice as he combated back, the power was gone. I wish I played the song right now. I swear to God I'll play it right now. If I could as I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? You know the song where they be fighting? Never mind. It's something in my head. I hear the song in my head right now as I'm talking to y'all. And that's the truth of the matter. But I understand your question. And I don't want to, and if anybody else have a question, I can stop. Please ask your question. But I understand your question. Because we all been looking for a savior in every situation. Not just spiritually. Economically, we waiting for a break. Relationship-wise, we're waiting for a break. Everything we're waiting for a break. That's across the board. Politically, socially, we waiting for somebody to come save us, and it's you. So it's something that they have indoctrinated in us across the board, not just spiritually. But in the very essence of us, we don't believe that we have the power. And each person is a nut and a bolt to a system to come together to beat that system. If you watch any Transformers or Voltron, you had to have another one. Yes, you did. And they had to come together and stand against this beast and fight it. Stop running. If you're in the church, then do something productive for African people. If you're in Islam, do something productive for African people. But when you really start doing it, they start kicking you out. But at least this man played this song. He is a fool. This man is a fool. I heard it too. I'm like, okay, start moving. No, but anything you're in, if you work in the colleges, do something for African people. You work for BG&E, do something for African people. Let them know about some upcoming surcharges. Get in all of this stuff. If you want to be a police officer, children, go be one. Be an African one, though. Get inside these systems, man. We got to get inside of them and change them, and we got to change them on the outside. It's no more playing games about this work. And everybody matters. Everybody matters. Stop it. Man, edit this, man. No, but it's the truth, though. Everybody matters. Nobody can say, I don't know if I have it. Listen, my Baba, he taught me. First thing he always said out of his mouth, I got an 8th grade education. Man, this man say he the most brilliant and do the most brilliant things. Well, maybe we need to tell our children to chill at the 8th grade then. But that ain't what changed him. It was a knowledge of self that changed him. So his wealth supersedes their 8th grade. Can't even compare. When you have a knowledge of self, they don't have a, well, how does this thing go? Doctorate, right? Anything over that? Do it go a little higher? Just a little bit? Oh, so you go to be a doctorate, what? 10 years take you to be a doctor. If you start from the very beginning, about 10 years. We went to school for 40 years. Okay, how can you compare? And they had to worry about paying Sally Mae when we went to school in Kemet. It was mandatory for you to know how to keep something functioning. And you went to school for 40 years, so all I went to was high school and Northwestern. I graduated with a 69 point something. I did day and night school, and I was truly dumb. Truly, in every sense of the word, dumb. Not because of the grades, because I didn't know who I was. Once I knew who I was, that's why I stand before you tonight and be able to speak and hold my own against anybody. Confidently. And sometimes I got to deal with chocolate Europeans, but I don't really get mad at them unless justice got to come out. But I really want the real oppressor. And we got to sit down and have a conversation. I got to put them in their place. I love y'all, man. I only got 2 questions. I love y'all. I love y'all. Hotel. Hotel.
I mean, the brother did a really good job. He didn't get a lot of questions. That means he explained it well. Clap it up to the brother. Anani Fatiu.
My political, economic, and social philosophy is black nationalism.
You can't be living in these days and times and can't see it. The community's been taken captive, we gotta free it. Practical applications for healthy socialization. Urban philosophy, stronger than democracy. Conceptual reasoning repels all hypocrisy. PLM, we cease the mediocrity. Got our own economy, in control of our children and our commerce. Now which one you wanna check first?